It would be really weird if I record the rest of the video like this instead of this, because you and I know there are certain ways to do things. So why don't you think it's weird for an email to make a direct sale instead of doing its ideal job? If that's what you're doing over and over again, with what I've seen, all you're going to end up with is a burned out email list and people unsubscribing from your email list month after month, because obviously there is more ask than give. My name is Dom, and I help the so called internet entrepreneurs to convert warm leads into actual sales. So, if you want to increase your conversion rate with your email list from here onwards, you might want to use what I'm about to share. So, to the screen.
Listen, before everything, just stick what I'm about to say deep inside your head because everything else could just fall in line by itself if you just get done this one thing right. So please pay close attention. An email's ideal job is only to make someone open the email and make them click the link inside the email. That's it. Regardless of whether it's a welcome email, promo email, sales email, or whatever it is, if you have a product to sell, this is what your emails are supposed to do. So, how do you actually make an email do its job? I follow this 3-step framework which have never failed to make an email do its job. Whether I'm writing an email for myself or for my clients, it brings the results that it's supposed to bring. Before breaking down those 3 steps, I want to tell you pre-hand that the step 3 is the most important step. Let's say the step 3 is like your grandma's special pasta recipe, which means the step 1 and step 2 are like the ingredients. When you use the right ingredients with the special pasta recipe, you would have actually cooked, which means you have to use the step 1 and step 2 on the step 3. You might have actually got my point, but I'll show you how to actually use them in a minute. Step 1. Break their misbeliefs and justify their problems. Let's say theoretically, you are walking down in a park and you accidentally tripped. Then you got back on your feet and dusting down your pants, and there seems to be 2 gentlemen rushing towards you, trying to help you, and asking you, "Are you alright, sir?" And you say, "Yeah, just a scratch." And one is immediately offering you a band aid, and you think that'll be fine. But the other one seems to be offering you a 12 ingredient super syrup and claiming that it would recover your whole body. And he's asking you if he could speak with you for 2 minutes, and you seem to be agreeing with him. After 2 minutes, you seem to be pretty confused. Prior to that, you're just gonna get the band aid and leave the place. But for some reason, after speaking with this individual who's trying to sell you syrup, you got confused whether to go with the band aid or the 12 ingredient super fucking syrup. We know that you are a smart individual, so you decided to just go with the band aid and thank them both and leave the place. After you left the place, the one who offered you the band aid seemed to be curious and asking the syrup seller why did he got confused. And the syrup seller is now giving a backstory on what happened. So after you agreed to talk with him for 2 minutes, he walked you away from the guy who was trying to give you a band aid and got you to the near tree and started talking with you more personally. He's starting the conversation, but it's not about selling you the product, but more like 2 friends having a good chat. He's asking you some deeper level questions, you guys are laughing, and you seem to be answering him wholeheartedly, and he's kind of understanding you better. He seems to understand that you're having some deeper level problems and you're having some kind of heartache or some kind of body pain because you are depressed or anxious or whatever. He seems to be understanding you more and more, how you are physically and mentally. And he's doing it all in like a couple of minutes. You said him you had a past relationship which broke your heart too bad. You're not doing so much good in your life. And for some reason, this guy is just being so emotionally there for you. Like he's present in that moment. He seems to be caring about you. And you are starting to build some kind of trust over this guy. After a bit more of conversation, he is saying that he had similar kind of problems like you had and what solution he used to overcome it. You are starting to get curious and asking him, "Can I have that solution too?" And he's like, "Ta-da, I had this whole time in my right pocket." And when you check your pocket, you didn't had enough money to buy both the band-aid and the syrup. You can get either one and leave the place. You seem to be a little bit sad because you don't have enough money to buy both the syrup and the band aid. So you can only buy one of those, and we know at last which one you got with. Moral of the story: know your ideal customers better than your competitors because it always gives you an upper hand. You didn't buy from that syrup seller because you didn't have enough money. Other than that, he have checked out every single boxes. He broke down your disbeliefs, he justified your problems. He even confused you to the point whether to go with the band-aid or the syrup. Because we know it's obvious it's just a scratch, a band-aid would do the work. But just because of the fact he took 2 minutes to understand you on a deeper level, took you to the point that you got confused to go with the obvious solution, which is a band aid, or to go with the fucking toll ingredient super syrup. Okay? That's the power of breaking someone's misbelief and justifying their problems. All I'm saying is make them feel understood, which is going to eventually lead them buying your product. Because now they have enough trust and conviction in you so that they believe your solution will fix their problems and pains. So if you don't want to end up like the syrup seller, you need to use step 2 no matter what. Because that's the only thing that elevates your product's perceived value by 10 times. Step 2. Add personality, story, testimonials, and lessons to every email that you write. You don't necessarily use them all in every single email. You can use them some based upon what kind of email you are writing. Whatever you write, please don't sound like a ChatGPT bot. Okay? You are a human and use your personality, whether you have a good sense of humor, you are like a more serious person who used to swear a little bit, or you are like a boring person. Whatever you sound like in real life while speaking or having thoughts in your mind, speak like that in your email. Okay? So add your story, add your client's story, how your solution, your advice, how your tips change their life. Add those in a more persuading way. Okay? Add testimonials in the necessary places to gain their trust. Add lessons, lessons which you have learned from your past mistakes, from a book or from your mentor or whatever it is, whatever you think that could be useful and elevate your personal brand's value, add them on those emails. Step 3. Use the season method. When you get a gift for Christmas, you are filled with curiosity till the moment you see what's the actual surprise is. Because you are expecting something which you perceive as valuable. But the gift is not a surprise anymore if it's not wrapped in a cover. Because then you are not curious, which means you have built no perceived value. This simple human psychology is the only thing that makes them curious or build some form of intrigue so that the perceived value of whatever you have to offer increases in their mind, leading them to click the link inside the email and letting the sales call, the product page, or the sales page do the actual selling. To make this all happen, you need to write your emails using the season method. Say everything and say nothing. What does that mean? Well, it means say everything about what the product actually does and say nothing about what the product actually is. Now, just like the analogy I gave in the beginning, I'll show you exactly what it looks like to use the step 1 and step 2 with the season method with 3 email examples. Email 1. First, I'm going to read it out loud, and then I'm going to give you 5 seconds to actually see what I have done with this 3-step framework. After that, I will break down this email myself so that you could compare how you thought I have used this 3-step framework versus how I actually used this 3-step framework. So, starting subject line, just 60 minutes to find 5 figures baggable product with game-changing tool. Body, are you tired of trying super saturated TikTok recommended products only to be met with your ad account showing 2 sales on $300 ad spend and a soul-crushing 13 views on your organic post? If so, pay close attention. I'm about to unveil the tools that will help you find products in demand faster than a goblin finding gold. This game-changing tool was put on to test for 500 plus hours to make it bring the finest information of in-demand products for myself and my students to make over $2 million plus over the past 6 months. Now, I have decided to not hold this tool for ourselves but rather share it with you too. Regardless of you being a weekend hustler or a complete newbie, this tool is your golden ticket for you to bag 5-figure sale without needing a tremendous amount of eyeballs in as little as 60 minutes. I'm almost serving you the dream customers of a dropshipper on a plate to you. Don't let this slip off your fingers. Click here for a chance to find the 5-figure product of your dreams in 60 minutes. Cheers, name. So I'll stop for 5 seconds for you to figure out how I used this 3-step framework. Time out. What did you actually understand? Did you see what I actually did in this email? You could have read from top to bottom, but did you actually see what I did? Let me break it down. Line 1 to 4 targets the ideal customer's pain and problems and justify them. Line 5 to 8 breaks down the entire misbeliefs of the ideal customer using the actual credibility of the tool, ending with reassuring what they're gonna get if they use this tool, which is their dream outcome. Line 9 to 12 restates everything that we have spoke all this time and showing them more and more why this is important. If you actually see, I have never said what the name of the tool is, what are the actual features of the tool is, or nothing about the tool. All I have done is just help the reader to build perceived value towards the actual tool itself. That's all this email's job is. Selling the actual product itself, that's the sales page's job. Because we know emails are only supposed to carry a limited amount of words and each word carries a lot of weight. That's why we need to focus on the perceived value in email and make them curious enough to actually click the link in the email and actually let them go to the sales page. Email 2. This one is a pretty interesting one, so you might want to actually pay close attention. Subject line makes them curious enough to actually open the email. Line 1 to 5, speaking to the ideal customer and stating the problems and pains. Line 6 to 9, justifying their problem by giving a story. Line 10 to 15, building relatability, breaking misbeliefs, and showing their desired outcome. Line 16 to 24, showing more personality, building credibility, building urgency, and making a call to action. After the first email, you would have got my point in this one. You could see for yourself, I have never mentioned what the product is. I have just used the step 3 to say everything about what the product does and nothing about what the product actually is. I used the step 1 to break their misbelief, justify their problem. Step 2 to tell a bunch of stories, build credibility through testimonials, share my lessons, those kind of stuff. Email 3, the men are gonna love this one. Line 1 to 7, justifying their problem, breaking their misbelief. Line 8 to 13, again, justifying the problems, giving them a desired outcome that they want, and making a call to action. Line 14 to 17 got absolutely no use except it's extremely cocky and makes them wonder who writes an email like this, and makes them curious enough to go and check the actual link in the email. By now, you'd have understand how to make someone click the link in an email. But if you want to learn how to make someone open the email in the first place using solid subject lines, check out this video. I hope I did a pretty good job at breaking down this framework. If you have any doubt or if you think I could have explained something better, share your comments. If you need my help with your emails, check out the description.